The In-House Show with Nikki, only on East Coast FM 107.6.
We're here with Just Beth. How are you?
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm just concerned that people can't hear you because there seems to be a bit of a technical problem. Can you speak again for me?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Ray, are we coming in loud and clear? Ray's my loud and proud, he says. Ray's my sound man. He checks out for me. Ray, that's why you're there. Beth, we're going to do the intro. Right, I'd like to welcome our next guest, travelling all the way from Aberdeen to celebrate with us. I couldn't be more grateful for her making that journey here today. This Dons fan is as faithful to music as she is to her beloved Aberdeen FC. A lover of her community, she's been seen on the streets handing out meals, giving back to her neighbours at various local charity events. Kind, generous, energetic, and if you want to tune into that vibe, then you can. Beth is a regular presenter at Original 106 FM Aberdeen. And as if that wasn't enough, this creative music enthusiast has also been making waves in the club scene throughout Scotland, appearing at major parties, events and festivals throughout Scotland. Tonight we will be finding out more about Beth and her brand Just Beth Presents. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Beth Wallace, aka Just Beth Presents. Thank you very much. Beth, how you doing?
Thank you so much for that intro, that was really lovely.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's the least I could do for you travelling all this way. So grateful for you coming here today. How are you feeling?
I'm really excited actually. I was saying to you earlier that it's not often that I'm on the other side of the microphone, so this is a nice change.
Does it feel a bit like question time?
I am a little bit nervous, I have to say.
Take the control away and it all comes a different ballgame, doesn't it? So how old are you? Come on, tell us.
I am 27. I think that surprises people because I think I do look younger than I am.
You are fresh-faced,
yeah.
And Aberdeen, born and raised?
Yep, born and raised. Lived in Edinburgh for 5 years for uni though, and then came back home once I was finished.
So you've experienced like civilization and normality. And, yeah.
There's places that sheep don't exist apparently.
Oh, you got traffic lights yet?
Just last week.
Nice one. So before DJing, what was your relationship like with music? How did that all come about?
I've always loved music. Like, it's always been a massive, huge part of my life. I probably was more into pop music and maybe sort of indie, sort of alternative bands. And then all of a sudden, DJing sort of happened. It came out of nowhere. I thought that I would need to know how to DJ for the radio if I wanted to make a career in radio. And you can have a career in radio without actually knowing how to DJ. So I didn't need to learn, but I slowly fell in love with it, and it's just changed my life completely.
It's not the same thing, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
But there's similarities, definitely, for sure. Absolutely. So, and now you're on the radio, like, all the time.
Yeah, like, I started out, and I was like, right, we'll give it a go. We'll give it a year, see what happens. I started out in a community radio station called Mearns FM up in Aberdeen, and I quickly managed to get my gig at Original. I'd emailed them looking for some work experience because I didn't think I was ready to actually try and say, go give me a show. And I said that I had demos that they could listen to at some point. I didn't have any demos. And they were like, oh yeah, let's hear them now. And I was like, oh my god, now I've got to go and make demos. So I was all stressed about that, but it worked out right, and I ended up getting a Sunday evening show. And it's just grown from there, and now it's what I do as my full-time job.
Nice one. So that wasn't something you ever really seen yourself doing, or?
Not really. So I used to work in mental health. I used to work for the Scottish Association for Mental Health, SAMH, and I was really good at my job, really good at helping people, but it was bringing myself down, and it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't something I was going to be able to keep doing. So I went to a careers appointment, and they were like, oh, what did you want to do when you were younger? I was like, I don't know, maybe like be on TV or an actress or whatever, radio. And I was like, wow, acting I'm probably going to have to go and study for another 4 years, and it's easier to get into that when you're younger. TV's a lot harder to get into. I'll go give radio a try, see what happens. And I just fell in love instantly. And I'd always loved radio, but I didn't appreciate how much I loved it until I joined it. Radio had just been such a huge part of my life. When I was going through tough times, I lost my mum when I was 19, and I would chuck the radio on, and it just felt like a friend when I didn't really feel like I had anybody. And I didn't realise how significant and important that was to me until I then got into radio and started maybe being that for somebody else, you know.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing with us. Really appreciate that. We've had a couple of texts come in. So Ray is our regular listener, and Ray lives alone. So Ray knows exactly what you're talking about in terms of radio being a friend for you. And I know he won't mind me saying that because he knows I care for him daily. And it's such a powerful medium, isn't it? And people really underestimate the power of radio. Yeah,
100%. Like, radio's made me cry, it's made me laugh, it's made me angry, and you know, I've now feel like I have been that person on the radio that other radio presenters have been for me, and that is such like a moving experience, like you wouldn't believe. It's
super fulfilling.
Yeah, it's really overwhelming, to be honest.
It's nice to be a part of it, isn't it? And to be able to provide and just to give back to people as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's almost like its own form of therapy, radio. Sometimes it's just sitting chatting away with a mate, and you know, you don't know that you're making somebody smile or making somebody laugh, but you hope that you are. You know, you try your best to be funny or entertaining, and it's just that little joke that can totally turn somebody's day around.
It's tricky, isn't it, on the smaller networks, because you know that people are out there, but they don't have the same sort of feedback as in some of the bigger networks, and you know that they are listening, but you hope that they are listening, because it can be quite an empty room, and it can be quite a difficult job sometimes, can't it?
Yeah, sometimes I say stuff and nothing comes back, and I'm like, was that funny? Was there anybody actually listening? But you do get the feedback at other points, and you know, it's just brilliant. I love it.
Radio silence is deadly, isn't it? It's deadly. Right, we're going to have a little track, I think, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to Beth about her involvement with BBC's Radio 1 Big Weekender in Dundee. And it's the birthday show. You are listening to East Coast FM. We are here with Beth, Just Beth Presents, original 106 FM radio presenter. She's travelled all the way down from Aberdeen to see us today, to join us and celebrate in this special day. So,
happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's a ton of gifts in studio too. The postman's been busy this morning, I can tell you that.
Broke his back.
Pioneer did that delivery as well, so it's happy days. So, Beth, we're having a chat with you about music and history and things like that, and where it's all come from. And I believe last May you were at Radio 1's Big Weekender in Dundee.
Yeah, so my pals, you might be aware of them, Kintra, techno duo, Frankie and Gisette, really good friends of mine. They had me along as part of their guest list that day, and it was just such a good event. Like, it was so much fun. I guess that was kind of my first experience of going backstage at a big event, other than Fly as well. So it was all cool, and you're like, oh, there's such and such, and there's that person. You're speaking to all these DJs that you never think you would ever meet in real life as well. And then, of course, we went to the after party and got in the green room, and my hero, Greig James, was there. And I've met Greig before, but I was quite a few beers deep by this point. So I was like, right, I'll go speak to him. And I managed to contain my sort of self, and I was like, I'm very sober right now, and I spoke for a bit, and I was like, right, I can't hold it anymore. I'm like, right, I'm away back to my friends, Greig, lovely to see you.
Patched.
Yeah, and I've seen him again, because I went on the Sunday with my pal. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry for how drunk I was on Friday. He was like, it's okay, you weren't the worst one.
He seems really nice.
He is as nice as you think he would. Like, I've met him a few times, and he's always done loads, went above and beyond for me. It was my year anniversary in radio, and he came on my radio show, and I got to interview him, and it was so special. It just, I mean, he's the reason, one of the big reasons I've gotten into radio, and he's just the best at what he does. He's the best in the business. Like, you know, his radio show is so listened to, and there's an obvious reason for that, because he is the best.
He is very, very good. Secret Greig James fact, he's actually a petrol head. He loves his cars.
Yeah, he does, because he does a F1 podcast.
He does now, doesn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm a massive F1 fan, so thanks for reminding me. I'm going to tune into that. And we won't talk about the Lewis Hamilton news that dropped today. Oh my days. Anyway, moving on quickly. So, Fly Open Air. You were, earlier this year we featured Ferb, so everybody knows about Ferb and the fact that he was also a DJ Mag competition winner. So he, like yourself, won a slot to play on the main stage at Fly.
Yeah, it was mental. I was like, right, I'll enter that competition. Not that I'll ever gonna win, and I'd done my submission a bit late, and I was like, oh, I could have done it better, because I'm quite a perfectionist, and I get uptight about things. I'm like, oh, it's not good enough, blah blah blah. There was mistakes I could point out. I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to chuck it in, you never know what's gonna happen. I think I was having a bad day or something, and I looked at my phone and it was like, oh, Fly Open Air has tagged you in something. I was like, nah. And I could not believe it. And then obviously it went to a public vote, and I messaged everyone and their granny to vote for me, and it worked out. I got to open the main stage on the Saturday, which was insane. It was unbelievable. And I think it really cemented for me that I maybe was actually good at what I was doing, because you play gigs and folk come up to you and you're like, oh, that was ace, blah, blah, blah. But you're in a nightclub situation and you're like, oh, okay, you're drunk. You know, you're going to say that. It was whatever. But I think at that point I went, oh, actually, I might be good at what I'm doing here.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
And like the doors that's opened as well, it's been unbelievable. Getting to play for Fly Club at Cabval later in the year last year was amazing as well. All the other gigs that have came off the back of that. It's just been awesome. I can't thank Fly enough for the opportunity.
They're good that way.
Yeah.
They do appreciate and support everybody in the scene, don't they?
Yeah.
That's funny. I was going to ask you that. Looking back, would there be anything you would do differently in that Fly set on that day?
I think I would just like to have enjoyed myself a little bit more. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself for it to go well, because I was like, this is a huge opportunity. People are going to be seeing you, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, right, I came off and I thought I'd done a terrible job. And I hid in the toilets for 10 minutes.
Oh no.
And then I came up to my friends, because not all my friends are as hugely into the scene and the dance music as I am, so it was big for them to come all along. And I went along to them and they're like, oh, that was ace. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And I kind of calmed down a bit after a couple of drinks, and I was like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And it wasn't bad at all. I just like I'm saying, I'm a perfectionist, and obviously it wasn't bad because it's open doors, it's open opportunities off the back of it. So
it can be quite difficult with taking advice from friends and feedback when you know they're not as into something as you are, and so therefore they can't be as critical as you could be, surely.
Yeah, and I think it's different as well with an opening set. You know, the crowd's just coming in, you've not got loads of people in front of you, where you may be playing at a peak time and you can get the reaction off people, and you're like, oh yeah, that was amazing. Like, that went down well. But when, like, folk are just coming in, they're just starting their day, they're maybe not going to go raj for whatever you're playing, and that's just the nature of it, so you don't get the same response that you would maybe in other situations. But, yeah, I would enjoy it more if I was to do it again.
There's a different control ability when you play to a full room and you play to an empty room. So when you play to a full room, maybe you can help explain this, like, you can almost play anything you want because the reaction is better, so it works. But when you play to an empty room, do you feel like you have to play harder for that crowd, or not so much? I
think, like, when the room's empty, you've got to earn it a little bit more. Yeah, like, you're starting the night. Even if you think of it as like a function, you know, if your granny's 60th birthday party, the dance floor's empty to begin with, and you've got to build up that dance floor, you've got to earn it. And it's the same in a club setting. You know, it's not going to be absolutely packed from the start, because it's just the start of the night. People are catching up with their mates, they're talking. It's a social thing as well at the end of the day. So yeah, you do have to earn it a bit more. And actually, the reactions you do get in those earlier sets, they're almost like better, because you're like, oh, this is quiet and people are going good for this, you know what I mean?
You know that the reaction's actually real.
Yeah.
And they're not just following the crowd.
Yeah,
you've worked for it. As you say, you've earned it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nice one. Right, I think we're going to play another little track, and then we'll come back, because we are running up towards the hour. So this one's for Emma. It's one of her favourite tracks from last year, and it's Dom Dolla, San Francisco. Happy Friday, everybody. It's the birthday show. You're listening to East Coast FM 107.6, your favourite award-winning community radio station. Beth's in the building, Emma's in the building, and Connor's on his way, Ryan's on his way. It's all happening. Thank you for tuning in so far. In about 5 to 10 minutes' time, Beth's going to be stepping up to the decks here, giving us a little treat for our birthday. So we're going to ask her a few more questions. In the meantime, Beth, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm having a great time.
I'm so glad to have you here, honestly. I've wanted Beth here for so long. I don't think you realise that I have been poaching you for about 10 months. Like, slowly, gently, softly, monkey. I'm going to catch that one. And thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
So we've been talking about all the gigs that Beth's been up to, all the radio shows and things that she's been doing, and all the future plans. She's got some incredible gigs coming up in the next couple of months. How's your calendar looking?
It's looking good. So Saturday I'm in Dumfries, so tomorrow night, looking forward to that. I was there last year, so it was good fun and good to be going back. And then later on this month I'm warming up for Dave Pearce, which is really, really exciting. Obviously he's a huge DJ but also a massive broadcaster. He's been on Radio 1, so I'll definitely be picking his brains for some of his knowledge and some of his tips, so that's exciting. And I'll be back in the tunnels again in Aberdeen, so that's super exciting. There's a wee charity night going on there, and of course Just Beth Presents nights. I'll be coming back in the new year, and I suppose it's an exciting one that's happening down here in Edinburgh. I won't give you the full details, but I do have another tune coming out in April.
Hey.
And we're doing a wee single release party, so all the full details of that will come out very, very soon, but it's super exciting.
And we'll be the first to know, of course.
Of course.
Exclusives here on the In-House Show. You know it. Hi, Dave Pearce. It's funny, you were talking about Greig James being a bit of an idol for you earlier. Well, when I was like a teenager, and this is giving stuff away, Dave Pearce used to do the dance anthems on a Sunday evening, and that was it for me. That was pretty much life-changing. So
I think I've been thinking about the set quite a lot as well, because obviously he's renowned for doing the dance anthems kind of set, and I'm like, what is he going to play so that I avoid playing it? But then I think it'll attract a crowd that obviously listened to him when he was on Radio 1, so they'll want some of the older schools, some of the older tunes, and it's trying not to play what he's going to play, so I'm going to have to pull out some of the old school bangers that people have forgotten about.
You're going to have to check out his YouTube stuff, aren't you? See what he's been dropping recently. Brilliant. Dave Pearce, a legend. So, what we do is, we've got a bit of tradition here.
Okay.
And that is we make a nomination. So we ask our guests to make a nomination. Somebody who they think should come and step up to the challenge.
Okay. As in, come into the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, who should I nominate? Well, I'm going to nominate my good friend, Kiki.
Kiki.
Yes.
I know who you mean. Yep.
Yeah. So Kiki has been on the scene for about a year now. She's been into dance music for years. She's only just turned 18 and has only just been able to start playing in clubs, and she's just hit the scene with an absolute bang. She just absolutely has such a passion for the music, which I think sometimes at the minute you've got people wanting to be DJs because it's cool, or because they want to be famous, or they see it as an easy way to get famous, or whatever or that. But that's not the case for her. She genuinely just wants to play the music that she loves. She's played some incredible gigs. She's warmed up for Ewan McVicker, Hannah Lane, and she's playing in Dundee this weekend as part of Hannah Lane's big thing at Caird Hall, the after party. She's on tomorrow night, I think it is, that she's opening up at Fat Sam. So I'm just super proud of her. Like, I feel like a big sister to her. And yeah, so
she's a pocket rocket, isn't she? She's really literally come out of somebody's pocket with a bang, and she's on the scene and it's happening.
That's the same as her personality. She's a rocket.
Shout out to Kiki if you're listening. I hope you're well, and you'll be getting a tap on the shoulder very, very soon, so look out for that one. Right, we're pushing on for time here, so we're going to play a tune real quick, and then we're going to do the ads, and then as soon as we come back from the ads, no introduction, we're going to go straight into the mix with Beth. Alright, so Just Beth Wallace from Original 106 FM down here this evening with us. You'll be hearing from her very soon.